So this is the Elite Hand Hero deck that I ran on Sunday, because yes, I do run the hands and whatnot in it. So as said in the tournament report, I was quite happy with this deck's performance. I mean, aside from the one game where I opened Triple Bubble Man, that was a bit kind of disgusting. But I've sort of basically learned my lesson from past hero builds in that, you know, you're gonna open Triple Bubble Man at every now and again, and I just pretty much have to deal with it, because a deck like this, Triple Bubble Man is, I wouldn't go so far as to say completely and utterly essential. I mean, if you want to run two, then that's fine, but it's pretty much just, it's pretty much, if you have it there, then use it. So that's pretty much my whole mentality on that. So get started on the deck list. We've got the triple alias, the standard sort of jazz there. Let me zoom in a bit. So yeah, triple alias beats stick. Triple Bubble Man, yeah. Experiences that led me to believe that opening 3 of these is disgusting. Enough said. Then for the hands, we've got the triple fire hand, and then the triple ice hand. They do pretty damn awesome. There have been some games where I've sided one of each of these out. I'm still debating whether or not that's actually a good idea or not, but so far it's been not. It hasn't actually been too bad, to be perfectly fair. So I'm quite happy with the work that the hands put in this deck. And then last monster is a Thunder King. I hardly ever saw this. I'm probably just going to cut this and stick with the standard 12 monsters. To be honest, there's really not much else. You don't really need that much else in regards to monsters game 1. And if you're going to side, then, you know, you've got monsters in there to fix you up against some matchups, especially the shitty ones. So the spells, the Searching Pyramid, I like to call this, as it is Rotar, double duality, and then the triple equal. As you can see, it forms like a bit of a pyramid sort of thing there. This is about as standard as it gets. Some people like to play 3 duality. I do not like this because I do like, I have the mindset of I like to special summon a bit. It's good to have, like, if you don't have a miracle or an Exceeds play, so it's obviously it's good to have in the deck, but it's just 3 is just way too much for my personal playstyle. So 3 Miracle Fusion, of course, you know, as with just about every other hero deck that I run, I do top deck into this professionally, just about whenever I need it. It's just, it is what it is. 2 Super Poly, I can't remember if I got this off at all. I think I got it off maybe once or twice. It's pretty effective. G-Sparks, which, if my memory serves me correctly, I got off a grand total of once in the entire tournament. So whether or not I go for a 3rd Gemini Spark, I'm not too sure. I'm just a bit weird about the triple Gemini Spark unless I decide to run something that's a lot more focused on the skill drain sort of aspect. I mean, I run skill drain in this, but it's not like the primary focus. So 2 MST standard. Then the Book of Moon, and then the Soul Charge. Soul Charge, I don't believe I actually saw this at all, so I'm probably just going to cut this. I think it's probably just better to either Call the Hornet or Hero Blast anyway, so who knows. Traps, double trap stun. This actually helped me out in our testing in the lead up to the locals, and I think it did do a little bit in the local itself, so I'm quite content with its performance. Skill Drain, which surprisingly enough, despite the fact that it did cause a little bit of disruption to my deck, like when it came to busting out the extra deck stuff, it actually worked out really, really well. Just about every other deck I have tried that runs Skill Drain has somehow screwed me over. Not in this particular tournament, it has not. It's just, it's actually managed to work out. I'm quite impressed. Then 1 Fiendish couldn't easily cut this for a Breakthrough, but I'm just a bit iffy about Breakthrough at the moment. Breakthrough is easily the best, but it's just sort of, you know, it's a personal preference sort of thing. 1 Deep Prison, because, yeah, just doing that sort of thing. I saw the second, so it's fine. Pulse, Bottomless Torrential, and Warning to round out the spells. I mean, the traps even. For the extra deck, I've got Double Shining, Double AZ, and Double Nova. I managed to get all these guys out. And managed to get them all, like they all came out at least once. These were easily the more commonly used ones because Nova Master could only use fire hands and stuff like that. But I did manage to get Nova Master off at once. To be perfectly honest though, the second one is really more in there in case I go up against like anything Fire Fist related or anything like that. It's more, that's pretty much just the only real reason that I've got the second one in there. And you know, because plus of course, you know, if you've got two of them, then that means that you've got one set aside for the Super Poly setup, or can use the both of them for the Super Poly if you've going up against a fire match, and then there's the other one which you can easily miracle into using a fire hand. So you've got a whole bunch of different ways to go into it. Then for the other ones, I just run one of each of the other three: Screwed Out, Tornado, Gaia, all pretty much Super Poly targets. Although I do believe you can drop all three of them through Miracle, but only using one of these Xyz monsters. So, speaking of which, I've got 6 of those. We've got the Excalibur and the Blade Armor, pretty standard. I originally didn't have Blade Armor in here, but I decided that multiple attack and getting rid of swarms is really effective, and I like Excalibur because of the massive beat stick. Then we've got Honor Arc because it's Honor Arc, Cowboy because it's Cowboy, Dweller because it's Dweller, and Crazy Box because Skill Drain is a thing. I cut my stroke for this because I figured this would probably work a lot better in tandem with the Skill Drain, especially in the Evil Swarm matchup if I ever did deal with one, because I know one person at the locals really likes to use the Evil Swarm, but he hasn't used it recently. I know for a fact that at the local Sunday just gone, he used Sylvans, and it wasn't actually the Sylvan player that I was actually playing against. It was another one who didn't have quite as much experience with the deck. I guess that's probably why that's probably one of the reasons I managed to win as well. So, for the side deck, I rolled a Fossil Diner, which I was actually holding on to this and looking to get a point in where I just normal summon this. This was against the Spirit deck. I was looking for an opening where I could just normal summon it and just keep beating the crap out of him. That didn't happen. He managed to get a board, so I had to set this, and I only ended up getting rid of one monster with it. So I'm not sure if this is going to stay in or if it's going to come out. I'm still debating on that one. Double DD Warrior Lady. I am never running this card again. This card was just absolutely terrible. I usually side out one of each of the hands with this, but the problem is once my opponent knows that I'm running hands, if I set a creature, he'll think it's a hand and then just get rid of it through some other method, and then when he finds out it's a DD Warrior Lady, then it's pretty much just a dead set. He'll never attack. It basically, the hands basically in a way give this thing's existence away. It just doesn't work with the hands at all. So I'm going to cut that. Third MST. Dark Hole for the Swarmy decks. System down because I hate Gig Ears. 2 Ixies Encore because I don't like playing against Evil Swarms with this deck. On Black Horn because I've only got the one. Royal Prison, which actually put in a little bit of work. I used this in my Casella deck that won locals. I don't think I saw it back then, but I actually did manage to cause a little bit of disruption using Royal Prison again to stop Trapshift Ionea from going off. So that was quite nice. And nothing I have special summons from the graveyard with the exception of Soul Charge, which I usually side out anyway because I hardly ever see it and it was just terrible. Second D Prison. 2 DNA Surgery. I actually had to side this in against Cybers because of the whole DNA Surgery thing he did in Game 1, so I needed to side my own in and turn everything into Warriors to make sure he couldn't suck anything up with Chimera Attack. And then Double Cursed Seal, which I did see, but I wasn't able to get it off because, yeah, he didn't see a Sylvan Charity, which was a bit of a shame. in that particular game. So that's it for the deck list. This deck's going to be taken down now so that I can set up my Raccoon deck and probably get testing in on that one. So yeah, who knows what I'll bloody be doing next. So whatever it is, just, yeah, see you for that.